breaking. Circle versus Quant, a huge catalyst for price action.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I have many friends that are earning every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process, and even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you could follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. And again, I'm not trying to have any of you guys use your hard-earned money to lose anything. You don't know what you're doing? Don't jump into this, but there is money to be made, and don't use your nest egg for leverage trading. Use a separate portfolio. But I suggest learn how to trade. Earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy. You don't have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network VPN. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that on your Decent wallet. The Decent wallet was not affected by the XRPL debacle, where the backdoor of many wallets was open and there was a breach. So Decent wallet was not affected by that. Decent wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It's the only way to get the affiliate discount, and that is to use an affiliate link. So that link is popping up on the upper right side of your screen, and it is the one that you will use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today. Thank you.
Consider smashing that like. You're definitely going to want to hear this one out, especially with the new recent development from the Quant Network. So let's take you right to there. And as you see here, it is literally from the Quant Network. They point out this whole thing, a Circle Gateway versus Quant Fusion. This is a major, major announcement. So full screen this, you do see here some key things. From token unification to economic interoperability. I will admit, I will read all this verbatim. I don't want us to miss a single thing. And then I'll give you a comprehensive breakdown on why this is so big, why we are just literally scratching the surface, why this is just the tip of the iceberg. This comes from Dr. Luke Riley. The article explores how Circle is unifying fragmented USDC liquidity across blockchains, while Quant's patented technology enables any token, yes, any token, to move seamlessly between chains with full programmability. The blockchain industry has long grappled with fragmentation, assets locked in silos, liquidity divided across chains, and institutions struggling to operate efficiently in a multi-chain world. In this article, we'll compare two solutions that have emerged to address this challenge. For one, Circle's Gateway and Quant Fusion multi-ledger rollup. While both technologies tackle interoperability, their approaches, capabilities, and ultimate visions diverge significantly. We see here Circle Gateway enabling single asset interoperability. Circle Gateway represents a solution to a specific problem, moving USDC seamlessly across blockchains. This system delivers a unified balance view for USDC holders, regardless of which supported chain their tokens reside on. This synthetic approach maintains a single off-chain ledger that tracks total USDC holdings, creating a user experience where cross-chain complexity becomes invisible. However, Circle's gateway functionality is inherently limited by design. The system operates exclusively for USDC, the token Circle issues and controls. While this narrow focus enables optimization and reliability, also means Gateway cannot extend its benefits to other digital assets. That part right there, write that down. Securities or enterprise tokens. Additionally, Gateway isn't programmable beyond its defined deposit, withdrawal, and transfer flows. Developers interact through APIs but cannot embed custom logic or create complex workflows with Gateway operations. Quant Fusion, on the other hand, does in fact do this thing of building the universal interoperability layer. With their patented technology, Quant Fusion multi-ledger rollup takes a fundamentally different approach. Rather than optimizing for a single asset, Fusion establishes a protocol-agnostic multi-ledger architecture that can unify any token or digital asset across diverse blockchain networks and distributed ledgers. The core innovation lies in Fusion's ability to generalize what Circle accomplishes for USDC to the entire digital asset ecosystem. Institutions can define their own, quote, unified portfolio spanning public blockchains like Ethereum and Solana, alongside private permission networks, whether dealing with stablecoin securities, native chain assets, or enterprise tokens. Fusion acts as a token-agnostic liquidity layer rather than an issuer-bound solution. I'll get more into this in a bit. I actually want to take you over to this. I think this is so major. So I literally went to Grok on this one. Don't have to do it all the time, but this was interesting. And I pointed the article. I said this part about consider decentralized insurance protocol that accepts premiums from Ethereum, monitors supply chain data, Hyperledger, Besu, so on and so forth, all automatically within a single smart contract. This multi-party, multi-chain capability enables financial instruments and business processes that were previously impossible. What kind of supply and demand forces would that create for QNT as far as price action is concerned moving forward? Now, in regard to that, if you're wondering what I'm really referring to, it's this area here on the other page. Let's pull this up again. You didn't have a chance to see this. It's this right here, actually. Okay. So what does Grok have to say about that? Well, for one, they point out it's basically bullish. It's bullish supply and demand dynamics for QNT price action ahead, driven by real utility captured in multi-chain apps like the described insurance protocol. Insurance protocol, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is so major. Quant's overledger powering fusion enables the exact scenario: atomic programmable multi-chain execution across Ethereum premiums, Hyperledger Besu, supply chain data, and Polygon claims all in one smart contract. And by the way, we have interoperability with all these. We've seen this with the Quant Developer Hub. It mentions this literally in the documentation. So for one, like it says, this isn't hype. It's live infrastructure for impossible before financial products. I don't know if people grasp this. Imagine something not moving on hype. And if anything, 2021, that was just a hype market for the most part, a speculative market. We are now entering into the whole thing of going from those old markets to hopefully what will become a utility run, especially after ISO 222 mandate is in full force. So check this out. This is not me. This is literally Grok. This is so important. QNT tokenomics primer, key to forces. Fixed supply, max 14.6 million QNT circulating, which is 12 million. Rest company held / locked. No inflation, rarer than BTC. Understand that Quant is a token, BTC is a coin. But look at this. Utility lock-in usage, how it burns and locks QNT. Impact on insurance-like apps. Licenses, biannual licenses, those that are fiat paid via treasury to access Overledger Fusion. Build those multi-apps, those maps, locked for 1+ years. And like it says here, builders buy thousands of QNT. Yes, thousands of QNT. It's already a very limited supply. So they buy thousands of QNT per protocol. Again, per protocol. One app equals one license, scales with chains and features. Transaction fees. Per transaction, you have that API call. Reads and writes across chains, proportional to volume. Premiums in, claim out, plus data monitoring equals recurring fees, which also equals to high total value lock. That's the TVL equals high burn. A high burn on a very limited supply of a token that has literally 30% less of supply compared to BTC. Sign me up. I'm already signed up. Gateway staking. What do we see here? Well, you guys want to hear more news about staking, right? Stake QNT to run the connectors / gateways. Fusion mainnet incoming reduces circulating supply. Then, again, don't forget about the impact on insurance-like app. Multi-chain ops need reliable gateways. For example, Ethereum, Hyperledger Besu, Polygon, staking demand surges. Staking demand surges. That's cited from even BitTrue. Result, demand scales with adoption. Supply shrinks via lock / burns. Supply demand forces from the scenario, scaling to ecosystem. If one insurance protocol goes live, look at this for yourself. Short-term build launch. Dev teams buy 10,000 plus QNT for licenses to connect 3+ chains. Supply locks activate immediately. Price action trigger 10 to 50% pump. Announcements, for example, Fusion testnet hype already spiked 13%. We see here medium term usage fees with total value lock 1 billion millions in annual QNT fees, 0.1 to 1% equivalent. Staking ramps for gateway reliability, and also the whole thing of a steady grind, 200 to 500 as TVL compounds. 200 to 500. Is that just a tip of the iceberg? I believe it is. Long term, copycats explode. DeFi, real world assets, banks build 100 plus similar apps, CBDCs, trade, finance, enterprise fiat inflows. We already see a hint of that with what was recently shared from the Quant Network in regard to them, BlackRock, and what, everybody? Finality. What do we also see here? Circulating supply greater than 10 million via locks. Burns if transaction model expands. Could it go parabolic? Could very well be. 1,000 to 5,000 in alt season, Q4 2025. We're in Q4. We're almost, right? We basically are. Yeah, I think we're in Q4 2025. Thanks to say that. Utility is greater than speculation. Again, greater than speculation. All right, bull case math to be conservative. One protocol, 50,000 QNT / year, licenses plus fees, 100 protocols, realistic post-fusion, 5 million QNT demand, 40% circulating supply, fixed supply, inevitable squeeze. I'll say it again, inevitable squeeze. Bear risk. Got to reference it, right? Can't just all be good news. Adoption lags, enterprise slow, delayed, not denied. Again, not denied though. Maybe delayed, but not denied. Don't ever forget about that just in case these things happen. There will be a shakeout. There'll be people in retail. There'll be people who call this thing trash, you name it. And as we see here, not denied. Not denied by who? Bank for International Settlements, European Central Bank, those live pilots. The competition, Circle, Fusion, rivals USDC only. Quant equals what? Universal economy. Again, back to the article literally written by who? Dr. Luke Riley of the Quant Network. Price action outlook. Now, anywhere to like 150. Buy the rumor, right? Buy the rumor, sell the Fusion. Call it whatever you want. Fusion mainnet quarter 4 2025. $150 to $500 mainnet plus first apps utility proof. 500 plus equals mass adoption. The regulated liability network, Project Agora, Digital Euro, go live. And I love this. This isn't from Maximus Crypto. This is literally from Grok. They state their own words. I know it's AI. QNT isn't, quote, another bridge. It's the operating system for multi-chain finance. This insurance example is the tip of the iceberg. Demand explodes. Yes, explodes. Supply vanishes. They're telling us that basically to accumulate. My goodness. I couldn't believe I saw this literally from Grok. I didn't want to just take notes and share it with you guys verbatim. I wanted to literally show you the proof of what this says here. I want to jump back to this for a brief moment. This is so juicy. It's such great, fantastic news, right? Because we had our X Space the other day. Enterprise-grade security and compliance. According to Dr. Luke Riley, he points out regulatory alignment represents another critical differentiator. Circle's compliance scope focuses on fiat-backed stablecoin regulation. Quant Fusion, however, embeds programmable compliance. Think about that because you wonder about why we put so much emphasis on compliance. ISO 222, ISO TC 307, Quant's own standard, just in case you're new to this channel, directly into the architecture through the Fusion firewall. This blockchain firewall features access controls that allow users to define precisely who can interact with their smart contracts and accounts. That sounds good because last I checked, Quant is the internet of trust. And this basically means what? Not having sinister players at work. And who would lead that charge? Oh, no big deal. Gilbert Verdian, 20 plus years of cybersecurity. But don't dismiss the other big players like Dr. Luke Riley, right? Crucially, each participant or node with Fusion can enforce jurisdiction-specific rules within the same network. For banks, central banks, and multinational enterprises operating across borders, this capability is transformative. Regulated token holders from permission blockchains can access liquidity from permissionless chains while maintaining compliance through built-in KYC and whitelisting controls, enabling regulated entities to trade on-chain deterministically while remaining protected from unvetted counterparties. Ladies and gentlemen, that part about that whole thing of white listing controls, what about white labeling the ones that need to be white labeled? This other area, we're about roughly halfway through this. Strategic vision, the token versus the economy. I'm glad that they're addressing this. I really am. The ultimate distinction between these technologies lies in the strategic direction. Circle's long-term trajectory centers on universal stablecoin liquidity, creating a single trusted USDC fabric spanning all major blockchains, not some, all major blockchains. This vision focuses squarely on payments and fiat interoperability, a value but defined scope. Quant's trajectory encompasses something far broader. Gosh, this is some of the biggest news from Quant. It really is. A universal interoperability fabric for all digital assets, smart contracts, and financial systems. Oh, I wonder where they got that terminology. Because they have that technology already implemented into Overledger back with a 2.0 update, which I believe was March 2023, when we talked about Hyperledger Fabric. So Fusion Rollup serves as the foundation for this network of networks. That term gets thrown around a lot, even with Ripple, right? Effectively building the infrastructure for an internet of value. Again, that term, back to Ripple, where institutional grade security, privacy, and scalability enable confident participation in blockchain ecosystems. Circle unifies the token, Quant unifies the economy. My God, that's the next big slogan from them? Could very well be. Will that put them in, a direct conflict with Circle? No, not at all. But you could clearly see where they're going with this, where they want to differentiate themselves with this. Again, I don't know if you guys saw the whole posting from Dave Portnoy, right? Remember when he got some bad news about Circle was going to be the answer and take over? It's going to be bigger than Ripple. What a joke, right? Now you see Quant referencing some of this, not directly, but you know where we're going. How about this? Discover what Quant Fusion can do for your organization. Again, don't forget about this, especially if you're new to the channel. It is the world's first layer 2.5 rollup technology. If you think about it, if you were a company, what do you mainly do if you need a layer 2, right? You might go to Optimism, you may go to some of these other ones, right? Quant has literally an all-in-one solution for that. And they don't have competition with this layer 2.5. Technically speaking, that would deem them basically a monopoly. There is no competition that has this as we speak. Quant Fusion multi-ledger rollup represents a paradigm shift in blockchain interoperability. Whether you're an enterprise seeking to connect permission and permissionless networks, a financial institution requiring programmable compliance across jurisdictions, or a developer building the next generation cross-chain applications, Fusion provides the infrastructure to make it possible. Ready to explore how Quant Fusion can transform your blockchain strategy? Again, reach out to them where you can learn more about capabilities, use cases, so on and so forth in regard to accessing the multi-ledger rollup and how it's available now, yes, now through Quant Connect. The future of seamless, secure, cross-ledger interoperability starts today. And you see this. Again, another compare and contrast. I don't want to skip this. This is good stuff. Feature, primary focus with Circle Gateway, single asset USDC interoperability, but with Quant Fusion, multi-ledger rollup, again, that layer 2.5, universal multi-asset interoperability. Again, asset support USDC only with the Circle Gateway with Quant Fusion, any token security or digital asset. Again, features with the architecture, centralized off-chain ledger with Circle Gateway. With Quant, you have multi-ledger state aggression. Again, what's one of the features with interoperability scope? With Circle's Gateway, it's an asset transfer layer. With Quant, you have asset transfer, asset exchange, and data transfer with a unified state layer. What about this other area? Programmability. With Circle, you have limited to predefined API flows. With Quant, you have fully programmable cross-chain smart contracts. Again, this may bore some people, but when you understand the bigger picture, it is absolutely the most impressive technology out there. Network types. With Circle, blockchains or public blockchains only. With Quant, public and private permission networks. With the compliance approach, with Circle, fiat-backed stablecoin regulation. With Quant, programmable jurisdiction-specific rules via Fusion Firewall. Just a few more. Again, I don't want to skip any of this. This is awesome. Left side, we see access controls. With Circle, issuer control, Quant, user-defined whitelisting and KYC. With Circle, ideal use cases would be consumer USDC transactions. With Quant, you have enterprise workflows, institutional finance. Again, strategic vision of Circle would be universal USDC liquidity, where Quant, on the other hand, universal interoperability fabric for all digital assets. Not some, all. This other one, execution model. With Circle, sequential cross-chain transfers. With Quant, atomic multi-chain operations. Last but not least, who are they targeting? Circle, payment providers, consumer applications. With Quant, enterprises, financial institutions. All right, I did talk about the whole thing of just the tip of the iceberg. Look at this for a second. Tokenicer wrote this up a while back, so shout out to him, give him a follow. He wrote this on July 24, 2025. Why is this important? He says he figured it was time for a new QNT Iceberg map. Things have changed quite a bit. Yeah, even that much more. Maybe Tokenicer has to do another one. But we're going to use this because it's probably the best example, literally with visuals. I love visuals. Used to teach, love teaching the kids the visuals. From UK RLN, Project Meridian FX, Bank of England, the real-time gross settlements renewal, and of course, that digital euro. Standards bodies, checkmark. Government, regulators, private sector, central/commercial banks, all checkmark. The Fusion layer. Let's blow this up. As we do that, what do you see here? Again, Quant and this tip of the iceberg. What's underneath that iceberg? Let's blow this up just a tad bit more because I know a lot of you guys are watching from your phones. We do see here, I know this part's a little bit blurry in the text again, taken from his cell phone. That's okay. We appreciate his coverage. Overledger served as the API and orchestration layer for the UK RLN, organized by UK Finance and EY to test distributed ledger technology payments with top UK banks. Give me just a second to clear my throat. All right. So with that said, what do we also have there? UK Finance. Left side, Quant Network CEO Gilbert Verdian is the founder of ISO TC307 for blockchain DLT and has since worked to standardize TC307 globally. And oh, by the way, no big deal, right? No big deal. He created an ISO standard, an international standard. Okay. Right side, LackChain. Shout out to Channing. He recently covered it. So a few other people did too with the recent Gilbert Verdian coverage with LackChain. We do see here, again, just tip of the iceberg, everybody. Overledger powers interoperability for LackChain, which serves DLT infrastructure for all Latin American and Caribbean economy. Right below that, we have literally the architects of the internet, the pioneers of the internet. Who are they? The IETF. The Internet Engineering Task Force has taken Secure Asset Transfer Protocol to be an official working group within the greater standard body. That's also part of ISO TC307. All right, back to the RLN. Remember, Citi was basically the main host of that? Citi, when we get more into getting right below the surface of what's the tip of the iceberg, Citi was a participant in UK Finance, RLN, and has also cited ISO TC307 and use of SATP in their Citi digital asset platform documents. Over to the right side of the iceberg, we see IBM. IBM, one of the biggest players, been around many, many decades. Who doesn't know about IBM? IBM has been working with Quant on the developments of SATP before approved or being approved by the IETF, and has since shown SATP support in their patents. That is so major. Left side, Oracle. We talked about this a lot in our X space. Oracle's blockchain and digital assets platform is built by leveraging Overledger to enable interoperability across other tech and Oracle products. That sounds pretty major, does it not? Right side, Zapier. Quant Network has partnered with Zapier to allow enterprises to begin using DLT and automation services in a no-code manner. Another one that has no code that's not mentioned here is Make.com. Another one that does require at least 3 lines of code for developers is Pipedream.com. And then we also see for the AI side, there's Whippy, but you haven't seen an official announcement from that in regard to that integration from the Quant Network yet, but you eventually will. What you see also on the left side, again, getting further down to the bigger area, what's really, really under the surface of that iceberg. The government of the United Kingdom. Overledger has been added to the UK government cloud marketplace and has participated in multiple case studies and use cases tied to the government of the UK. Shout out to Channing. He's reclipped this. He shared this multiple times. You go to UK Gov and you type in Overledger with Quant, it comes with one of one search result. You might want to challenge yourself and see why that's significant in that one of one. All right, right side, Bank of England used Overledger in Project Rosalind. In their new real-time growth settlements renewal for legacy and DLT support was renewed with, of course, Overledger. Right side, Nexi and SIA. SIA has partnered with Quant to connect their banking clients and tech infrastructure to begin enabling support for blockchain payments. Right side, R3. That's going to get brought up at some point. R3 Quarter was the other counterpart outside of Overledger that served as essential technical infrastructure to who? The UK Regulated Liability Networks functionality. Left side, the BIS, the Central Bank of Central Banks. The Bank for International Settlements have referenced both ISO TC307, which I shared that before with particular PDFs, and SATP in their various CBDC projects. Very true, right? Especially when it comes to Project Rosalind, right? Bottom side, ITU, the International Telecoms Network, have a direct Class A liaison with ISO TC307 to collaborate on building DLT and digital currency standards. Then on the right side, Quant Network has been selected as innovation partner for the European Central Bank's digital euro architecture and design. What happens when ISO 222 has that full mandate November 22nd, 2025? Again, the call to action from Christine Lagarde. And last but not least, Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan has taken inspiration from Bank of England's Project Rosalind for CBDC Foundation. Again, those things that we mentioned earlier from that Grok conversation, it's just the tip of the iceberg. This is yet another example of why I feel QNT will be the most expensive token in absolute history. So there you guys have it. Once again, more examples of maybe some things you already knew, especially if you're a hardcore QNT fanatic. And if you're brand new, the things that you do not know. I had a conversation with a particular person not that long ago. He was inquiring about BTC. And while there's nothing against BTC, it's understanding that at these particular prices of 114K roughly, just a 2x it, right? Just a 2x it. Well, you have to get way into the 200,000 plus levels. I'm always looking at the ones that will do the highest in market cap. I'm not looking to do a 2x. I'm not looking to do just a 5x or a 10x. I look at QNT as being the one that will really, really stand out. I have it tied obviously with XRP, with the highest potential. None of this is financial advice. I'm just bringing you what I have gathered and sharing what other people have gathered, with Tokenicer, Quant Papa, so on and so forth. So do me a solid if you listen to this entire outline, because it helps give me great feedback to see if people are truly listening. And type in this key comment or phrase into the comments, and that is QNT will be the most expensive token in history. And I'll know that you listened to the entire outline. So the saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. Do you really know why you hold it? The research, yes, the real research, trumps FUD 110%. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. We'll see you on the next one. Over and out.